everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of the Secondary League Podcast, a baseball podcast presented by thepinchRunner.com. I'm baseball YouTuber and writer for the Pinch Runner, Dawson Wright, and today, and as always, I'm joined by Noah Wright, also from the Pinch Runner. How's it going, Noah?
I'm unhappy.
Why?
Because I keep watching Felipe Vasquez almost blow the save again.
Well, I believe it. He's not, the best closer.
Oh, he was really good last year. I was hoping he'd at least get the job done this year, but whatever.
Yeah. You're not going to contend. You guys kind of fell off a little bit.
I would like us to finish at 500. I'm not saying we got to go for the division, but
Why? You got to tank for draft picks. That's what it's all about.
Whatever.
Alright, so let's go ahead and get into our first topic of the day, which is the Mariners, who are surprisingly in first place.
Yeah, and they've been doing it without Cano, because since May 14th, they're 22-7, and Cano was suspended on the 15th.
Yep, so without Cano, they're surprisingly doing better. I mean, Cano, he was having a decent season, but, he wasn't doing anything spectacular, or at least I would say, right? But
I mean, he was having a good season by he was doing good, He wasn't doing bad, but he wasn't doing MVP level.
Yeah, I would say a really big help for them so far has been the Colome at the Denard Span trade. They really needed that because
Go ahead.
Because without it, you have a hole at second base, right? And
now that D. Gordon can fill in second base, and Denard Span has been doing pretty good since going over to the Mariners. He's only played in 12 games and already has 2 home runs.
Mm-hmm. And you combine that with their pitching, which has actually been pretty decent. I mean, looking at it right now, they're, according to Fangraphs, they're 6th in the major leagues and ranked in pitching. Their pitching staff and their entire pitching staff has a WAR of 8.5, which is that's pretty good.
Yeah, but no help from King Felix, who's past his prime now.
Yeah, true. He's kind of a wasted start. But the Astros, the Red Sox, you could really seriously start throwing the Mariners bullpen up there. The Mariners' entire pitching staff up there with them. I mean, the Astros starting staff, when they're healthy and everyone's going good, I mean, I know Keuchel hasn't had the best starts as of late, but when everyone's going good, they're a really, they're the best rotation of all time.
Yeah,
right?
Because they have every single guy in that rotation right now, or has been a former Cy Young candidate at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all of them could really run for the Cy Young. Besides, I don't know, Keuchel and maybe not McCullers, but
every other one might has a possibility of getting a Cy Young vote.
But now you could put the Mariners staff up there with the Astros and the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Nationals, the Phillies. You could seriously put them up there with them.
Yeah, now because Paxton is doing amazing.
Yeah, Paxton's having probably the
Marco
season
Gonzalez.
Of his life.
Marco Gonzalez is having a really good year, and surprisingly, Wade LeBlanc is having a good year too.
Wade LeBlanc. And then their offense it's not that far behind either. Their offense is currently 9th ranked, and they have a 10.1 WAR, which is, I mean, it's not bad. There are teams that still, like your Pirates, that their offense doesn't have a double-digit WAR. But
yeah, thanks.
But it's okay. My team doesn't either.
I mean, they still have the Pirates still have a really good runs per game, but whatever.
Yeah, the Pirates score is 9.6, so they're just right behind the Mariners. They're 10th. That's not that bad.
Yeah, but
because you're trying to shoot for a 500 record. Oh yeah, that bullpen might be a problem. 5-run lead in the 7th inning.
Yep, all because they wanted to get revenge.
All right, well, okay, but you combine the Mariners, pretty good
spot right now.
Yeah, to elite pitching with their
and a pretty good lineup to go with it.
Yeah, with their pretty good lineup, and you're thinking they're either gonna win the AL West, which nobody saw coming. I mean, there's still the second half of the season, right? But
Yeah, but I mean, who expected them to get off to such a hot start in the season?
mm-hmm.
Who expected somebody other than the Astros not to be in first place in the West right now?
Yeah, nobody. It's kind of like the AL Central last year, right? You just thought the Indians were going to steamroll everybody, and then here comes the Twins, who aren't that far behind, right?
Yeah.
But this time, the Mariners are in first.
Yeah, the Astros are the Astros are below the Mariners now. I would not have predicted that.
Okay, like how the Astros aren't in first? I'm not really sure. It could just be Dallas Keuchel being bad. Like, the Astros rank above, I believe they're number 1 in pitching, right? Yes, they're number 1 in pitching, and in hitting they're number 3.
So how are they not first?
How are they not in first, right? That's a really weird question, but it's a lot of, like, I've been paying attention to the Astros a little bit. It's a lot of, like, one run, like, really close kind of games that they just lose.
That they just, like, they lose by 1 run and they can't score another one.
And that can determine first place or second place and, wild card spot, etc.
It's pretty clearly right now it's determining that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously the Mariners haven't made the postseason for a long time, so I'll believe it when I see it. If they make the postseason, right? What was this, the 17th year or something, right?
I don't know.
Something crazy, but like, I think at the end of the day, the Astros are a better team, and they have the prospects to make a move at the deadline, right?
Yeah, they have a way better minor league system and farm system than the Mariners.
What move they need? Probably a designated hitter
and some bullpen help.
I mean, Dallas Keuchel's trash, but they're paying him too much for him to not pitch in the rotation.
He's not doing horrible, and I mean, you have 4 other guys that could win a site. You have 4 other guys that are doing decent,
There will be, like, some starts where, like, Keuchel is just kind of, like, he'll give up, like, 2 runs and goes, like, 7 innings, right?
Yeah.
And then there's other times he'll go, like, I don't know, 2 innings and give up 7, right?
Yeah.
He's the kind of either I'm completely on it, right, or I'm completely garbage, right?
He's been fairly inconsistent. Last year I had a good season though, so
yeah.
Hey,
so
there's still hope for him.
It should be really interesting to see how his free agency lines up. I think the Astros are really gonna let him walk because he's probably gonna ask for too much money anyway.
And they have other guys that could fill that.
Yeah,
Armenteros.
Armenteros, the best player that gets no recognition. Okay, well, I think it's time to move on to our next topic, which I know you're pretty passionate about.
No, I don't like this at all. You said it costed you a game, and it's starting a runner on first and second after what, the 11th inning?
No, it's as soon as extra innings start now.
As soon as extra innings. Okay, well, yep. I mean, I'm okay. Like, I'm okay. I'm not happy with it, but I'm okay with, like, pitch clock and stuff like that, because that doesn't directly affect the outcome of the game. Does
it? Wait, hold on.
What?
Does it? Can it though? Pitch clock? Think about this, okay? Bases loaded, right?
Yeah.
Your team is up by 1. You're pitching, okay?
Yeah.
And you're on the road, and it's like, I don't know, the bottom of the 10th or something, right? Okay. 2 outs. Okay. And then your pitcher doesn't get set before the pitch clock starts. Okay, it's a full count. Umpire calls ball 4. That runner comes home, and that ties the game.
Okay, but I feel like this will impact the game much more than the pitch clock will with outcomes.
Okay, it will, but
and that's why I don't like that. It's going to majorly impact a lot of outcomes of the game.
Mm-hmm. A lot of the pace of play rules do. Like I mean seriously, because I went to a minor league game in Las Vegas not that long ago. Okay, where the whole pitch clock call a ball thing, right?
Yeah,
it's very prevalent in the minor leagues, right? Even though you don't see it a lot, but when it happens, it like happens because first there's a ball one, because the pitcher didn't get set in time. Okay, next batter, right? Okay, you get a ball. He gets an automatic ball 1. Okay, that manager for that team gets ejected from the game, right? And you know who else does too? The catcher.
Pitcher. Oh.
The catcher got ejected, right?
Did he? I assume because he came out and argued it.
Yeah, and then the next pitch, the very next pitch, fastball, right? Boom, home run.
I don't like any of these rules. I don't.
I mean, okay, it wouldn't affect the game as much as
this rule, but I don't like any of them, and I just like this one the least.
I just wanted to talk about that for a second.
Okay,
go ahead and continue.
I still dislike this one the least because it's going to have the most impact of all the rules that they're going to implement, because I hate that, because if you're going to start extra innings, the first thing a manager is likely going to do is tell the next guy to bunt. They bunt runners at second to get runners at second and third and 1 out. And that's going to be the rest of the inning.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And bunting is surely going to go up, and I just don't like that's going to make so many outcomes different.
Okay, I went to the game on Monday, okay, where this did happen, okay. It was the 10th inning, okay, right? I'm chilling. I'm like, all right, we're good. We got this, okay. And over the PA system, I hear, oh, a part of the new pace of play initiatives, right? Who are we playing? Oh yeah, we're playing Oklahoma City. The Oklahoma City Dodgers will start with a runner on second base, right? And you know who's on second base? Their freaking leadoff hitter, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, you're kidding me. And
yeah, because they're just going to put their fastest guys, because like if it's the Reds, it's going to be like Billy Hamilton at second and Jose Peraza at first.
Yeah. So, if he wasn't there, that game, okay, we didn't score in the bottom of the inning, okay, but they scored in the top of the inning. If he wasn't there, the game would still be going.
Yeah, and I don't like that could change that outcome. But do you think that if they do implement this rule, that it will be enough for players to strike? Because if you remember last offseason, I think it was Kenley Jansen who was like talking about striking because of all the new rules. Do you remember that?
I thought he was striking because of free agency.
It was
saying that they demanded new contracts.
Okay, I thought it was also a little bit because of the new rules, but do you think it's enough for players to strike?
No, not really.
Really?
Because the Players Association is probably one of the most like garbage associations of Major League Baseball, right? They failed the players multitude of times, right? And it's just I don't know if enough players would be like, oh, do I risk losing my jobs for that? Because okay, it's only an extra innings rule. It's not like every inning they start with a runner on second base or something. But, you know, I don't like the rule. I hate it, and I think it's stupid. But I don't think it's enough to get the players to really do something about it. Until we see something super, like, drastic, I don't think we're going to see any, you know, strikes or threats of strikes at all.
That's okay. The fans will go on strike. Go get the picket signs ready.
Okay, but, like, you know, I don't... Like, this rule, there might actually be a few players that like it. Like Anthony Rizzo. Remember how he was talking about how, oh, we might need to shorten the season or something because 162 is way too long, right? Yeah. He might be like, oh, you know...
I heard John Schmaltz, I think it was on MLB Network, or it was during one of the games. He actually liked the rule, John Schmaltz.
He's a pitcher. Why would he like the rule?
Yeah, I was kind of confused about that, too.
I mean, like...
And he kind of seemed like a baseball purist, so I wasn't sure why he liked the rule.
Mm-hmm. Like, I get some people that like it because it's like, oh, we already got 9 innings of baseball. Let's just, you know, let it be, right? And some people are like, oh, you know, in the playoffs, you could just not have it, right? And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, this is a really, like, not even this is like a really, you know... odd scenario because I remember it happened in 2010 to the Giants, right? It was like last day of the division or like last day of the season, right? Winner gets the division, loser gets nothing, right? Loser is out, okay? Yeah. Giants were playing the Padres, right? Let's say that game goes to extra innings, right? And the rule's still implemented in the regular season. So then it'd be, you know, Padres get a runner on second base, and it's their leadoff hitter, okay? Giants get a runner on second base, and it's, I don't know, old Aubrey Huff, because he was the last out, right? And they don't score. The Padres do, and they wouldn't have scored, if he wasn't on second base. And the Giants lose, they're out of the postseason, and they never win the World Series that year.
Yeah, I don't like the rule.
Big games
because
like that.
Yeah, because it can affect a big game, like you said.
Where it's like elimination games, it's going to the 10th inning, right? Everyone's hyped, and then you got two big offenses, right? Let's say it's Astros versus Yankees, right? And it's like these teams are capable of scoring runs on their own, Yeah. And then you're gonna let's say they don't get rid of it in the playoffs, which I think could honestly be a real possibility if they do implement this in the MLB, which is the whole reason it's in the minors in the first place, is so they could test it out. And it's stupid because we lost the game because of it. I mean, there were some mistakes by our team. I'll admit that, but the game,
it was the main reason you lost.
The game could still be going today if we if that rule wasn't in effect. But you
still,
get our 2014 Game 2 of the NLDS, Giants versus Nationals. That game went 18 innings.
That would have been over much quicker if that rule's implemented. It's probably going to be over in like 10 innings. Then.
Okay, it would have, but would it have been as exciting? No. I watched all 18.
I did too, and that was a very exciting game if you ask me.
Yeah, the game was 2-2 for what, like 7 straight innings before Brandon Belt hit that home run in the top of the 18th inning.
Yeah,
and then the Giants won 3-2.
Pitches like 6 innings.
Yeah, Yusmeiro Petit, postseason hero for the Giants. They totally could have lost that game. They lost a game in San Francisco, and then that could have resulted in the Nationals winning the series. Who knows? Game 5, who knows what happens, right? But it's just Yusmeiro Petit is now a postseason hero for that. Just for that, man.
For pitching, I'm looking it up right now. He pitched 6 innings in that game.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, what we're talking about is, rare scenarios. I don't want to act like it happens all the time because it doesn't. But the rare scenarios is really what makes baseball great and postseason baseball great.
Yeah.
And I feel like, we're trying to take away from that by having run on second. Yes, the game gets over quicker, but okay.
It's less exciting.
Me as a hardcore fan, do I want it to get over quicker? No. And if the team, if you're watching it on TV, they probably played, a lot of their advertisements already through 9 innings. So it's like, if you don't want to keep watching the game as it goes into extra innings because, you don't like baseball because there's something wrong with you, just turn off the screen or change the channel. Don't complain to Major League Baseball about it and then make them change a rule that nobody likes.
Yeah. No, Smoltz has been the only person I've heard that said they like it, and I think if you question a lot of fans, they're gonna say they don't want it in.
Okay, there's a few people that like it, and I understand why, because
it ends the game quicker.
It's either one, they're not hardcore baseball fans that will watch an 18-inning game, right? Even if it's the postseason, they're kind of like, this is going too long, turn it off, okay. Or 2, they kind of want to see the game end. Okay, then just watch the highlights on YouTube later. Right?
Go on MLB Video and what happened last night.
Watch the condensed game for all I care, but don't because them
don't ruin it for everyone else.
Them catering to the casual fans is pissing off all of the hardcore fans, man.
Yeah, it's
all of us because we're like, no, we don't want this. We're fine. Leave us alone. We don't like all you casual fans. I mean, you're fine. You show up when the postseason happens, right? You got your little postseason hat on, right?
But don't ruin the game for everyone else.
Dodger fans since 2017 of October, right? And then this game is too long and boring. Oh my dude, I can't with these people because they're killing our own sport. If you're a business, you don't cater to a more general populace while upsetting your hardcore fans. If you want to appeal to a more general populace and your hardcore fans are okay with it,
then
that's
go ahead and
fine.
do it.
But in any business model, why would you want to upset your most hardcore fans? Honestly.
Doesn't make sense.
I mean, at the end of the day, we're going to talk about this and complain about this. You know, MLB baseball's going to kind of win anyways. Because we're still going to watch baseball. What am I going to go watch? The NFL? No. The NBA? Oh, Warriors win. No. I mean, I might go watch some more hockey, but I'm still going to pay attention to baseball because I love this sport too much to just
abandon it.
Yeah, to just abandon it and then
because of people.
Watch it die, and then soon every inning will start with the bases loaded because Rob Manfred wants some more runs to score.
I'm tired of all the new changes.
They just need to stop, man.
They need to make baseball great again.
They need to take a moment and stop. And a few years ago when they took out the whole you can't trust the catcher anymore, which part of me agrees with, part of me disagrees with, right?
Yeah.
You always want to keep the players safe, but it was
takes
one
out
of the
part
most
of big...
exciting things in baseball, right? Contact still happens in baseball, but rarely because you can't take out guys at second anymore or third or home.
Yeah, and I understand because you want to prevent people from getting injured, but I mean, like you said, it's still exciting when it happens. Players at the plate were like the most exciting thing in baseball.
Okay, who was the Pirates catcher that got slid into by Anthony Rizzo?
Elias Diaz.
Okay, that was talked about for like a week.
Okay,
Rizzo barely clipped him.
Did you? And then what was it? Joe Musgrove. What did you think about his slide?
Okay, Joe Musgrove slid into Javier Baez, and then Javier Baez is like, "What? You trying to injure me?" And then Joe Musgrove's like, "No, I'm just making a good slide. Can we not touch people anymore?"
You did it to us. You did it to us, so why can't we do it to you?
Bro, he barely even. It was a good slide. He did directly what he was told to do, which is slide straight through the base. That's all you have to do. He did that, and then Javier Baez is like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And Joe Musgrove's like, "I don't know. I'm just playing baseball. What are you doing? Complaining to me about it, right?" I mean, they made up, and Javier Baez probably looked at the replay or something later.
Okay, but to be fair,
he was fine.
But to be fair, the slide into Diaz did mess up the throw to first. Which I understand, you want to break up the double play.
Did.
But
okay,
if you're going to do it,
based off the current rules, I don't know how that slide didn't, get overturned to be an illegal slide.
I mean, they later out Rizzo's slide. Yeah, I think they later came out and said we got that call wrong.
Yeah, because they did. Based off the current rules, they did.
They did, yeah.
Okay, but I'm also thinking about it from Rizzo's perspective. I saw Eric Burns mention this on MLB Tonight. When you're going home, right? Tie game, whatever, sack fly, right? You're on third base. When you're running home, and any players out there listening to this also know this. When you're running home, you're not thinking about, where can I slide, right? You're thinking about, I need to score. I'm going to do what I can to try and score. Right? I mean, obviously, you can't freaking, just truck over the catcher. I mean, obviously, after today, Matt Kemp doesn't know that. But, they're not thinking about, oh, am I in the lane? Oh, is the catcher going to be okay? No, they're thinking, oh, I'm trying to score this run so my team can win the game. Which, it made sense from a player's perspective. And they got that call wrong. And I think they're going to be a little more cautious now towards that kind of thing. We may not see another slide like that or, what Matt Kemp thought was a slide later in the season. We'll probably see one or two kind of like it. Yeah. It really depends what the scenario is. And could he have avoided making contact? I don't really like that argument, at all.
That if he could have avoided, I don't think he could have. I mean, he could have slid in and just not truck the catcher, but still.
Oh, the Matt Kemp slide?
Yeah.
Okay, Matt Kemp had 5 seconds. Matt Kemp was gonna slide head first anyway, but he's like, "Oh, I'll just take 2 extra steps and just truck him over." Right?
Still, he was gonna make contact even if he just slid in, you know?
Well, he would have, but you could slide head first, and he was out by 5 feet.
Yeah.
I don't know. Give up.
Stop in the middle of the baseline.
Mm-hmm. But I'm really concerned about all of this pace of play kind of stuff because
don't make contact with each other.
I see them testing it in the minors. It's making games shorter, which less ad time, but whatever. But
let's pander to the casual audience.
Yeah. Okay.
Piss off everyone else.
Casual fans that think baseball is boring, you can make baseball a 2-minute sport. They will still think it's boring.
Yeah.
Because they don't get it. They don't get everything going on between pitches, right? Instead you go to a game, look around you, okay?
Everybody, there's people on their phone.
You'll see the hardcore fans, right? You'll see them. They're watching the game. Like, okay, even the hardcore fans will occasionally check their phone, whatever.
But not nearly as much as a casual fan will.
Sometimes they'll even check their phone just to look at another score of another baseball game. But, and then, you'll look around and then you'll see, I don't know, some girl that's sitting, 2 seats to the right of you. She's constantly, taking Snapchats, sending pictures to a boyfriend or whatever. And then that's why I now have to sit behind a net because she can't pay attention.
Yeah, it's casual fans who's ruining the game, and or especially the casual fans who are complaining extreme amounts to get things changed that nobody else likes.
Okay, the minor league team that I have season tickets to, right?
Yeah,
a fan who was sitting pretty low to the field. Okay, he got hit with a line drive foul ball, right? That sucks. Okay, but the thing is, he wasn't paying attention, and then he's trying to sue the team.
Is he really
saying it's their fault, even though it says on the back?
Wait,
of
is
the
he
ticket,
really trying to sue the team?
Yes, he's trying to sue the team. It says on the back of the ticket, "Oh, watch out for flying objects." There are signs everywhere that say, "Watch out
Pay
for
attention.
flying baseballs and bats." This is a live game. These things move very fast. And because of that guy and the girl that can't stop texting her boyfriend, I now have to sit behind a stupid net to enjoy the greatest game on planet Earth.
Okay, well, I think it was put in play after that one little girl got hit with a bat in the Yankee game.
Why did that happen? Why did that happen? She's sitting low to the field, and her father wasn't paying attention.
Their grandparents were there. Their grandparents were there. I kind of guessed that reason why, but that was one case.
Okay.
Of it happening.
That was one case. Okay.
Yeah.
Were they paying full attention? Probably not. What happened to that little girl? I feel bad. I do. You don't want that to happen to anybody. But at the same time, it's kind of if you're paying attention and you get hit with a ball, that can happen. That can happen.
Oh yeah, my dad got hit with a ball one time.
But
even though
if
he
you're
was
not
paying attention to an
attention,
independent league game,
and you're sitting 15 feet away from the field when these baseballs are flying, I don't know, with exit velocities of over 100 miles an hour, and then you're trying to sue the team over that because you couldn't pay attention? After you bought those tickets down there, you well knowed that there's a possibility that I could get hit. If you don't want to get hit, you know where you go sit? The very top of right field, way up there in the nosebleeds. Go sit way over there and stop complaining and trying to sue the team every time you get hit for not paying attention.
Yeah, my dad a few years ago, he got hit in the ribs with a foul ball. We were paying attention. It was an independent league game, and it's we didn't think, oh, we're gonna sue the team. We thought, oh, cool, a foul ball.
Okay, that's how baseball fans think. But then you get these money grabbing people that always think they're the victim. Oh, I was the victim. I bought a ticket to sit as close to the field as possible.
Even though it says on the ticket, look out for fly balls, bats, something coming your way.
And then I got hit with a flying, I don't know, I got hit with a flying baseball glove well, I was Snapchatting my friends. I'm going to sue the team over this. Even though there's all these warning signs around. I swear, there's going to be a point in Major League Baseball where before you buy a ticket to a certain section, you're going to have to, like, sign a waiver. Like, oh, I will not sue the team if I get hit with any flying objects. Either that or we're going to go, like, arena baseball, and there's going to be, like, nets all around the stadium. Like, everywhere, right? Man, I get so heated over that just because it's, like... Because now I have to sit behind a net. I have seats on top of the third base dugout. There was no net there before, right? And there are other season ticket holders next to me that got screwed because they have to sit behind a pole.
Man, I feel bad for those ones that have to sit behind a pole because somebody couldn't pay attention.
Because some numbnut didn't pay attention and tried to sue the team. And it's not going to work either because he has no case. Because he knows he's in the wrong. But he's just trying to get money. That's all I have to say about that, man. I got heated, but I got heated because I really...
Heated for a good reason.
I really care about that. Because
I do, too.
It's probably the most upsetting thing to me.
To watch when idiots I showed up ruin a game that we all like.
And there's a net right there. And I'm just like, oh, no.
If all these rules get implemented, I'm going back to independent league baseball.
Independent league baseball, do they probably, like, some fields don't even have a net behind home plate.
Ours does. I mean, it's a nice one, but it's like one of the most accessible independent league.
Let's have benches in center field like it's the 1920s.
Because nobody's got to hit it that way, that far.
Exactly. All right. Okay.
All right.
Let's move on to our next topic.
Yeah.
Before I start throwing things, right? Okay. So, it came out this morning that an anonymous NL executive called Bryce Harper a selfish loser. Okay. Which, I mean, it's a little funny, but I mean, the fact that he remained anonymous is a little weird, but you know, whatever. So, you know, Mike Rizzo replied saying,
"Yeah,
like,
he called him a gutless chicken or something like that."
Yeah, he called him like a gutless chicken. Who knows? But he's
something like that. Something along those lines.
Because you know you wouldn't say it to his face or something, right? Whatever. But you know, you think about this statement, right? Okay, we're not talking about Bryce Harper as the off the field guy. You know, Bryce he's a pretty good dude off the field, charitable guy. Nice dude from what I've seen so far off the field. Okay. You know, I have a lot of respect for Bryce Harper for what he does, right? Yeah. Like off the field, good dude, okay?
Yeah.
On the field,
he's a bit of a hothead.
I mean, okay. Like I understand.
I'm going to call him a selfish loser, but I'm just saying he's a bit of a hothead.
Okay, I understand where hothead players come from because I was a hothead player, right? You know, you strike out, you know, you get mad, it happens, right? You know, you feel like you let down your team, you know?
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't say selfish, but like, you know, when he said loser, from the baseball perspective, you're kind of thinking, you know, maybe. I mean, okay,
a little.
We know that this isn't basketball. You can't draft a LeBron James and then, you know, have him carry your minor league team to the World Series, right? But you know, when superstars, you know, Bryce Harper how has he been in the postseason? Like,
I mean, I'll look it up right now if you want me to.
Go ahead. Like, I don't remember him doing anything all that good. He's constantly lost in the first round. He hasn't been able to get past the first round. I don't know if this is some weird curse that the Expos put on the Nationals before they moved or something, or if it's just something in the clubhouse, or if it's just, you know, I don't know. Teams will lose for certain reasons, and who really knows why?
I pulled it up. He currently, in 4 years and 4 different series, he has a 211 batting average, 315 on base percentage, and a 487 slugging percentage, and 5 home runs in 89 plate appearances in postseason games.
Okay, so he hasn't performed, really. I mean, I know you had like two of the homers were off of Strickland in the 2014 NLDS.
Yeah, so...
I mean, so he hasn't really performed in the postseason as much as he does in the regular season.
That's the one year he did good in the postseason.
Mm-hmm. And not being able to make it past the first round, it sucks, and I feel bad for him, but at the same time, it's kind of like, I think the Nationals will make it to the playoffs this year. I'm pretty certain that will happen.
I think they will too.
But, if let's say they win their division, okay, and they get to the first round, and I don't care if they get swept or if they go to Game 5 and lose. If they don't get past that first round, and Bryce Harper, he has to leave. He honestly has to leave.
He's a free agent, and this team has not made it past the second round with him since in 2012, 14, 16, and 17.
Mm-hmm. Because when a lot of players hit free agency, they start thinking about their legacy, right? They're thinking, what's gonna be my legacy on the game, right?
Do you want to be known as the guy that made it to tons of playoffs but never made it past the first round, or do you want to be known as the guy that made it to the playoffs and like made it to the World Series like 3 different times and won like twice?
Okay, even if that means... Okay, I know this is super unlikely. Even if that means him joining the Yankees, which are like one of the most stat teams right now, Red Sox, I don't know, going to team up with Mike Trout in Anaheim, wherever he goes, okay, he has to think about where is the best place that I could get a ring, because no player wants to be known as the guy that couldn't get past the first round of the playoffs and constantly underperformed, right?
Yeah.
He's kind of in like a Kevin Durant situation a few years ago, where Kevin Durant was like, oh, what's the easiest way for me to get a ring? Because, I like rings, because what player doesn't, right? And then, what do I have to do to get my first ring? And then, boom, he goes and joins the Golden State Warriors. And then, they just won back-to-back rings, right?
Yeah.
That's what players really want at the end of the day. Because rings are pretty important. In baseball, it's pretty hard to get one because one player can only have so much impact at one time, right?
Yeah.
But you gotta at least get there, right?
I feel like Bryce Harper would like to make it past the first round.
Every player wants to make it past the first round. That's why the playoffs exist. But it's like he has to figure out what he has to do, and if the Nationals lose, and I'm saying if the Nationals don't make it to the World Series, Bryce Harper's gone.
Yeah. I can't see. Bryce Harper's going to, for sure, look for other people for other teams. If they can't at least make it past the first round.
And hey, who knows, the way the National League East right now is...
Yeah, the Braves are leading. The Braves are leading.
They could seriously either make it
not
to the
even make
game and get eliminated, or not even make it at all.
That's a huge possibility that they don't even make it, with the Braves doing really good right now.
And the Phillies. The Phillies
look like contenders too.
They do, and it's kind of like Bryce Harper's thinking, I'm sure, there are certain players that'll want to stay, with the team that drafted him, blah, blah, blah. I'm not sure Bryce Harper's that kind of dude. I think Bryce Harper's he's a competitor. He wants to be a winner. Not really sure if he is one yet, but
he wants to go where his best chances of ring is what you're saying.
Yeah, he does. He's probably all competition first. That's what really makes guys hotheads, on the field, is they take the competition so seriously in their brain. They're thinking, I will do anything that I can do to win this game, right?
Yeah.
And, a little part of his ego, right? Hunter Strickland pegged him, which, last year, which was obviously the most on purpose hit by pitch I've ever seen in my life, right? and then Bryce Harper charged at him because, he took a shot at him, right? You feel like you have to respond as a man, right? Yeah, so he's a competitive dude that will just kind of stick up for his teammates and himself. And I think that is the reason he's gonna get the contract that he's looking for, really.
Yeah, but I think... Go ahead.
No, you go. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say that I think even if he does leave, the Nationals are still going to be a good team.
Of course they will be. They have Matt Scherzer.
Yeah.
But, Bryce Harper, he's hitting what? 240 right now?
228 batting average. Yeah, he does have an 878 OPS, so he's not having a horrible season.
How many homers does he have?
19, leads the National League, I think.
Okay, so he's become more of a power hitter than he used to be. But, you think about, even from a marketing perspective, right? It's kind of like, who would sell more tickets right now? Bryce Harper or Mike Trout?
I would think Bryce Harper because of just how...
Bryce Harper, right?
Because of how energetic
is,
and competitive he is.
I mean, obviously we know Mike Trout is the greatest player to ever touch a baseball, and I will stand by that until I die. But, you're thinking from a marketing perspective, Mike Trout just kind of does his thing. He stays out of the media. He just kind of, is the greatest player ever and doesn't really do anything.
But doesn't boast about it.
Bryce Harper shows more emotion, which is why he's so, kids are so more attached to him than they would be for Mike Trout, because they're kids, right? I see a lot of kids now with the, Bryce Harper Under Armour cleats, right? Because they're like, oh, I want to be like Bryce Harper when I grow up. I want to hit 228 in the but they're like, oh, I want to have that emotion, that that kind of
that emotion and spirit,
that drive that
you're
Bryce
playing.
Harper has. Okay, but so let's say Bryce Harper leaves.
Yeah.
Nationals are still in a good spot without
the
him.
Nationals. Juan Soto hit 2 more home runs today. I mean, they're pretty good with outfield right now.
They'll really lose the heart of their team and their guy in the locker room, which I really think Bryce Harper is their dude in the locker room. But you look at this team, you subtract Bryce Harper, you lose 19 homers, but next year's free agency class is still pretty loaded. I'm pretty sure they could find a solution to that. Maybe nab another starting pitcher somewhere. And then they could compete with the Braves and the Phillies in the National League East.
Yeah.
And the Mets,
If the Mets...
Who am I kidding? All their pitchers are going to be injured by June next season.
The Mets.
But the Nationals are still a good team without Bryce Harper, which is crazy to think about because, Bryce Harper is such a big-name guy, right? But, the Nationals team built around him is very good, right? But, think about this. How good would the Angels be right now if they lost Mike Trout?
Yeah,
you saw how bad they were last season when they lost him because of injury.
Yeah.
Right? With the Nationals, that doesn't happen, Yeah. Juan Soto, they're set, man.
Juan Soto, they have Victor Robles, who's doing good in the minors.
Mm-hmm.
They've got replacements for Harper. They've had that in the works.
They have a decent minor league team, and they have probably one of the best pitchers in all baseball, if not the best, in Matt Scherzer. So, we'll see how it pans out. If the Nationals win the World Series, does Bryce Harper stay? I honestly still think he leaves, but okay, if they don't make it past the first round, first round or lower, he's gone for sure. Probably unless they make it to the World Series, I would say he's out. Peace.
Yeah, I would say too. They don't make it to the World Series, he's gone.
The Nationals aren't going to pay him as much as everyone else, or at least I don't think they can or will, right?
I don't
the
think so either.
Dodgers are probably going to throw him
The Phillies are likely gonna even be. The Phillies will look into them. I know they probably will.
Phillies have a lot.
They have payroll space. They can do it if they want.
They have a lot of payroll coming up. So, Bryce Harper could get $390 million. He's gonna get close to 400, which is
crazy.
I don't know how someone can make $400 million playing baseball with guaranteed money, which is MLB Players Association. I had no idea how you got that deal going on with the whole guaranteed money thing. But some team is going to play him really well just because of who he is. They know his numbers aren't the best, but based off that name, you look at that name, right? Bryce Harper.
Yeah, and you think
superstar, right?
Thinking very spirited player and very competitive player.
Your franchise, your clubhouse, right here. You're LeBron James. You're Mike Trout, right? So, we'll see what happens. I mean, he might go to the Cubs and go join forces with his best buddy, Anthony Rizzo, right? But, we'll talk about that more as it gets closer to free agency. And for our last topic of the day, Chris Davis and the worst Major League season ever for him.
Yeah, the worst.
He has some of the worst stats I've honestly ever seen.
But he's not the worst batting player right now.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you could find someone on the bench for the Marlins that's less.
But what about regular player? You have what? Cole Calhoun until he went on a OPS of 374, I think.
Okay, but his WAR.
Yeah, his WAR negative 2.1.
Oh, that's so bad, dude. He's getting paid $23 million this year to have a negative 2 WAR. Hey, Orioles. Hey, Orioles, you could pay me $1 million and I'll have a worse WAR than that. Just call me anytime. I am ready. He's locked in until 2022, man. What?
Good season, if you think about it. Mm-hmm. He had that one good season in 2013. Was
based off of. That's why it's so smart to sign it, dude.
Yeah, for him. That's smart. For the Orioles, not so much.
Mm-hmm. So, I did a little math, and I figured out. Okay, so Chris Davis, he currently has 31 hits. So if he keeps everything, same at bats and the same pace, he will finish with 75 hits by the end of the season.
And currently with 107 107 at bats right now, Matt Kemp has 69.
Oh, and that's 75 hits, by the way. I was rounding up. It's actually 74.9, but so that just shows how bad he is. And I also saw this story. I hope it's not fake news, but we're just gonna say it's real.
We're gonna hope it's real.
Okay. There's this bar in Baltimore that's giving out free shots every time Davis gets a hit. So currently they've only had to give out 31 rounds?
That's not a lot.
That's not that much, and it looks like they'll keep it under triple digits.
That's like a month's worth of shots for a bar.
I'm gonna look at Chris Davis's swing and see if there's anything I could figure out, what changed. Is he dipping? Is his stride longer? What's going on? Right? I'm not a major league scout, but I think I could find something. Right?
Something has to be wrong because
going from being he was near an MVP.
Yeah, he finished third MVP voting. He finished third in MVP voting. I forget who's in front of him, but I remember Miguel Cabrera won that because he had more home runs and RBIs than Miguel Cabrera that year. Miguel Cabrera was that close to winning another Triple Crown, and Chris Davis was right below him.
But yeah, going from that to complete
can't even hit
garbage.
to 200.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty sad.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure what happened or how we fell off this bad, but, you know, we'll see how the rest of the season pans out. You know, hopefully he only finishes, or, well, hopefully, you know, go Chris Davis. Hopefully he gets some more hits.
Yeah.
And doesn't completely suck for the rest of the year.
Maybe he'll go on a hot streak and, like, hit 300 for, like, 3 weeks straight, but who knows.
And then his average will be, like, 175. All right, well, that's going to do it for today's episode of the Secondary League Podcast. For those of you listening on YouTube, I hope you guys enjoyed and subscribe to the channel. For those of you listening on the website, the podcast will be uploaded around semi-daily-ish, around there-ish. And we will see you guys in the next episode.